Who here spends any time on social media? Let me see hands. And okay. We need to speak today about the events of the last week. Not in detail. Details, these are in the hands of each of you as parents for your children. But if you are like me, your conversation with friends, neighbors, acquaintances has been very much not calm in these last several days. Everyone has a strong opinion. Everyone believes they know what the solution is. Everybody is pointing fingers. And the reality is that none of this is helpful. To be sure, some of these suggestions in terms of public policy may be good, but we are not here to speak of public policy. We are here to speak of the human heart in the face of evil, of what our response is to this. And as a spoiler, our response is almost always wrong. But I do not want to speak to condemn anyone else, so I will speak of my own heart. My heart has been greatly troubled this week. First, because of what happened. There is a pain and an agony from seeing such things. Second, from fear. Fear that this may happen in places that are near to me. Third, anger. I am angry at those who did this. I am angry at those who allowed it. And I am angry at those who respond in a way that seems to take advantage for themselves, for their side. And I want to blame someone. If I am alone, then point the finger and condemn me. If I am not, regardless. Here is what I know to be true. If I am feeling this and I am reacting in this way, if I want to blame and criticize someone else, then much of the anger and the tension that I see among my acquaintances and my friends comes from this same source. In my fear, in my pain, I want someone else to be responsible so that they can fix it and I can go on feeling well. I think this is a matter we all understand. When we feel pain, we feel anger, and we want someone else to fix it. We want someone else to be to blame. Yesterday I was walking with my son, and he was playing a game, pulling me this way and that way, and I was saying, no, you need to watch where you're going. And as I am saying these words, I walked into something and hit my head. And my initial response is to yell at my son. Now, technically, it was his fault. He was horsing around, and I was paying attention to him instead of where I was going, so I bumped my head. But if I had simply been calm and walked with him, I would have seen, and either I would not have bumped my head, nor would he have walked into the pillar he was trying to walk into. But my reaction was to blame him, right? We do this to each other. I cannot speak of a remedy to the problem that plagues our society. I can say it is a problem that plagues our society. And that the principle stands for this and for any other tragedy, for this and for any other problem. If it is someone else's fault, if I can point the finger, if I do point the finger and blame someone else, then I am not participating in a solution. I make myself feel better by blaming somebody else, but I don't do a thing to improve matters myself. And here is the sad truth. When we act in fear, when we act in anger, when we act in blame, what we do is we put up a wall, we put up our hands, we push others away from us. We isolate them, we blame them, we create distance and anger and distrust in the world. Yes? Altar boys. What's likely to happen if one of the altar boys is misbehaving all the time? Gonna get in trouble, and some are going to get in trouble with him, and others are just going to keep their distance, step away, move back. Right? Same thing happens in school. Right? The same thing happens in life. I know that the solution is not anger, is not blame, is not stepping away and isolating and blaming and judging the one who is acting out. I also know that it's dangerous to move close to those who are hurting, because then you are the first person that will be hurt. I know that we must all balance in our lives what is safe and what is loving. Find a way to be close, to reach out. But I don't have an answer. I can say, don't be angry, don't try to control, don't blame. These will only lead to destruction. What I can say is that in our brokenness, in our self-destructiveness, in our anger, in our violence, in our addiction to death and sin, the Lord comes near to us. The Lord embraces us. The Lord stands close to those who are most troubled, most broken. He embraces them. He loves them. And He bears the cost of that nearness, because what do we do to Him when He comes? But put Him up on a cross and put metal through His hands and His feet. Yes? This is the way of the cross. Not to blame, not to judge, not to control, to draw near and to love. And where we cannot love, because we know we will get hurt, if we step back, if we step away, then we must care for that person from afar. We must pray for them. We must look out for them. We might write them notes, we might write them letters. We can reach out and be close in some way, even if we know we will be hurt if we get too close, right? Like if your brother and you are fighting, right? And if you sit next to him, you know he's going to pinch you, he's going to hit you, he's going to pull your hair or something, right? The right thing to do is go into your room, get away from him, right? But you don't want to go angry. What you can say is, I love you, but I'm going to go into my room now, right? In this way, you're telling him no, but you're also saying, I love you. Make sense? This is the balance we have to try to find. Not in anger, not in fear, not in an effort to control our lives and our situations. And this is what it looks like to forgive. It is difficult, it is painful, it is terrifying, and it is right. So as we grieve, as we struggle to process the fear, remember, fear destroys. Control only makes more brittle a situation that is broken. Love heals. May the Lord give us strength to walk in love today, throughout the course of this Lent, and every day of our lives. Please stand.